Alright, so what's going on, beautiful people? We back yet again with another banger of a video. Now we're going to talk more about this game Xdefiant right here, the quote-unquote Call of Duty killer.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Of which I really wish people would stop saying that about any FPS that drops. No game's going to ever kill Call of Duty. Only Call of Duty can kill Call of Duty. And we've seen them do that damn near before already. But I digress. When we talk about Xdefiant, it's a free-to-play FPS game, and the biggest saving grace about the game is that it is free to play. That gives this game a lot of leeway and a lot of grace and a lot of things that a $70 game, does not get, which works out to its benefit. But at the same time, there are some glaring issues within this game that you can't even give the free-to-play pass with. And we're going to talk about that more in this video. This game does have a lot of interesting concepts and the potential to have like authentic longevity, meaning that like this game is around because it's actually a solid game that people want to play and stick with, and not just because it's just the most popular thing or whatever right now. Like, this game is actually being around because it actually has a solid foundation and developers and a community that's keeping up with the game, that's pushing the game to the forefront.
Message.
Graphically, this game is very, very aesthetically pleasing. The color palette they chose was great. They didn't go with the typical gray, brown, forest green color palette. They actually went with the color palette that is very, bright, in your face, excellent colors, as well as, very interesting maps and like map design. Graphically, I do love how this game looks, especially with the art style, because it does keep like the same type of Ubisoft I guess graphics that are like consistent across the board with like their character design, so on and so forth. But like I said, the biggest thing is just like the color. Every map in this game is like gorgeous to look at. Like, every single map has like, even like from like the darker maps, like one of the maps that you can see in this gameplay, very dark, but there's still bright oranges, bright reds, blues, like all of that is just popping out. That basically keeps you engaged, as well as it's a sight, what they say, a sight for sore eyes. It's something refreshing that we're not seeing just the same dark, grungy colors that is overwhelmingly prevalent in a lot of FPSs out right now, right? Gameplay wise, it's a basic FPS. You point guns and shoot them, but they do have faction abilities that add a certain layer of, I guess, tactics to this game, and as well as like another layer to play like with this game with. It's like an FPS hero shooter, but with very simple and basic objectives. It's kind of strange. I don't necessarily have the correct words for it, but it's very basic and plain in the sense of like, they have abilities, but it's still at its core just kill these people, push this objective, or dominate these objectives, like play dominations. It's very basic in that regard, which is very, very nice. At the moment, they only have about 4 or 5 factions. They have DedSec, which is from what's that game, Watch Dogs. They got Echelon from like the Ghost Recon series, the Phantoms from the Ghost Recon series, the Cleaners from the Division. Then they have the Liberation Forces from like Far Cry or whatever. And also, rumor has it that they're going to be adding like the Assassin's Creed and some of the other characters that are in the Ubisoft universe, which is great, because I was talking about they have the potential to have a very long-lasting game by just continuing to expand on their universe, because they have so many different IPs and games that they could just put those characters in there and just give them special abilities and just keep the ball rolling, which is great. Now let's get on to the customization, something that a lot of people need in like video games. As far as like to keep them around, like customization wise, it needs to damn near be to the, I hate to say it, to like the Call of Duty standard that we are accustomed to. Whatever weapon skin that you do get. As far as weapon skins are concerned, there's not too many in here that I can like really remember at all, for real. I'm pretty sure it's going to get added more down the line, because at the time of me releasing this video and talking about this, the game is fully out, but they're having what's called like a preseason. Like, we're not even like in the full season 1 yet. This is kind of like a little, I guess, test season to see what they can do to improve this game, which I actually really do appreciate. I do like that approach to this. Instead of saying season 1 and season 1 be a complete clusterfuck, let's do preseason, see what works, see what doesn't work, see what we can improve on, so we need to buff some things, so we need to nerf some things, so we need to change some things up. That way, when we do drop the next season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, however many seasons, you know, they end up putting in for this game, they're basically making it better and better and better every season. Another thing, gameplay wise, I actually forgot to mention this as a positive. I forgot to write it on my notes, is the fact that everybody moves on this game. There are some matches where you find campers, people who just sit in their corners. In objective-based game modes like control the points and things like that, I actually understand that, because you have to hold the point. Cool. But overall, like, just like the escort game mode where you actually have to move with the payload, domination, so on and so forth, everybody's moving around and playing the game. Nobody's just sitting in a corner and just doing nothing, which is a breath of fresh air, because God knows in the previous iterations of most games that we have played for like FPSs, it is just people who are sitting in corners doing nothing but pissing us off. It's so aggravating. Now, ranked, I have not touched rank yet, so I cannot speak about rank. At some point, I am going to touch rank and play it and give my thoughts and opinions on that. But at the time, I haven't touched rank. I just been doing nothing but quick play. And like I said, I've been enjoying my time thus far playing this game. Like, gameplay wise, it's smooth. Can hop on, hop off, like literally play a couple games, get off, play like for an hour or two, then get off. Like, this game doesn't necessarily affect my mood fully to where I'm like, man, fuck this game, I'm never gonna play it again. It's literally just, all right, I'm done for right now. I'm gonna come back to this later. Like, this is a game that I find myself coming back to even just play like one game. Like, if I want to play a game before I go to bed, I find myself like, I'm gonna hop on the game real quick. Now, speaking about the ugly, so if you're familiar with the movie Wanted, then you'll be right at home. Why am I saying this? Well, the game has a serious issue with bullets bending corners. If you want that feeling of 09 Call of Duty hit detection, you're in the right place. I don't have enough fingers to count how many times I was well around the corner, and I'm talking well around the corner, looking at my teammates, damn near halfway down the map somewhere, and out of nowhere, I just die. And there's no kill cam in the game, so that's a huge issue, because then you can't see what they seen on their screen. Now, the TTK in this game is just wildly inconsistent. At one moment, you can drop somebody in like 2 to 5 shots, like 2 to 5, 2 to 4 shots. The next game takes a whole 15 rounds. And even then, sometimes they don't drop. So they really need to do something about that. I don't know if that's a connection issue that's doing these things, or if it's like a gameplay. I honestly do not know. It's just something that needs to be addressed, because when I talk to any one of my friends, like any one of the homies about that, they're like, yeah, this is kind of OD, because you will run around I'm talking down a hallway and just die, and it's somebody who is shooting you from behind, but they can't see you no more and you can't see them, but you just drop dead. It's the strangest thing. If you watch any of my streams, twitch.tv/Woozilla36, go ahead and check that out, please, thank you. You will see that a lot of my like shots, whatever, are hitting the head 3 times. You'll hear tink 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 tink, and they just don't drop. It's, again, agitating as hell. If y'all remember correctly, when I was talking about the abilities in this game and what I think about them, I do enjoy them, because it adds, like I said, a layer of gameplay to a hero objective based shooter a little bit. The abilities that I previously mentioned definitely need a nerf or a rework of some sort, just of some sort, because imagine being able to get a portable UAV after each death. They have that ability in this game. One of the operators, as soon as, like, you know, they die or whatever, or not as soon as they die, but like they have an ability like to basically get wall hacks and see people through walls and then transfer like to their team as well. And it's fast. It happens every game, as well as there's not a cap as to how many of the same character can be used in this game, which is going to have to be something that they're going to have to look into, because this is very agitating, because everybody uses that same character for real. So they're going to need to do, like, put a limit on it or something, or maybe even raise the time for you to get your abilities back, because I do know they want to keep that to make the game different from its competitors. I understand that, but they need to do something about it, because right now it's just a spam fest of abilities, and it's just annoying. It's really just annoying, because they have a bulletproof shield that repels grenades. Like, if you throw a grenade at it, it doesn't go through it. It bounces off and it could explode, and it could shoot you through their shield, but you can't shoot them through the shield. Again, I don't know how this got past, development and didn't get no foresight of maybe that's a little bit broken, right? Or they have an ultimate ability that practically makes you immune to dying, because you get like 400 health or something like that. You can put an entire round into this person's melon, they won't die. They just get to look at you, laugh, and then kill you. Or a flamethrower that kills without being in flame, or without flames being present. Now, the character I used, the Rosa, yeah, that's the character I'm talking about, because there's been times where I have killed people and I have died when somebody casted their ult, and it says that I died by a flamethrower, but there wasn't a single flame in sight. Like, I just ran up, shot, died. And I've done the same thing, like where I pulled out my ultimate, pressed R2, the flames didn't come out, but the person in front of me just kicked the bucket. Again, something that just has to be addressed at some point. At some point they need to do something about this, because these abilities might sound wild, like this might sound like over exaggeration, but they can be seen in multiple instances in all of my live streams. Again, twitch.tv/Woozilla36. Go P. Now, due to the leaks, like I was talking about a little bit earlier, there will be more game modes. Like I previously mentioned, TDM, capture the flag. They do need to add some type of search and destroy mode. And if they really want to get fancy with it, they need to make it that way. You need to have like your open comms or whatever, just to bring back that full nostalgia. Just throw that out there, because I think it would be kind of funny. But I do wonder why these were not released day one. Again, we do not need a bunch of extra game modes if no TDMs in place, because like I said, people don't play the objective.
Message.
People don't play the objective. They just go for kills nonstop. You know how I know this? I've won games while having a negative KD, and a majority of my team having a negative KD, but because most of the team was just trying to get kills or whatever, they weren't paying attention to the objective, so we're pushing it right under their noses. Like, I'm seeing a lot of that, and if they want to keep this game alive and kicking, and want this game to actually have some type of longevity to basically survive a COD cycle, they're going to need to be proactive and not reactive to the things that they are doing in this game, whether it be nerfing, buffing, adding game modes, adding characters, all that. They need to be very proactive in this, and also build hype around it too. They don't need to do the same things that they've done with previous multiplayer games that they've released, such as Siege of For Honor, because the fact that Siege survived this long is amazing. The fact that For Honor still has such a solid community, again, is amazing. But those games could have been more popular and talked about more if they stayed on top of it, if they stayed on top of their game and didn't just cast to the wayside like, well, we're gonna fix it on the back end. No, y'all need to be on top of this day one, because Siege almost died multiple times already. If y'all remember that Operation Medical or whatever that they had, you had to be there. Jinxie helped that game stay alive recently, breathe new life into it. And then you got For Honor, which is still doing tournaments, still releasing more content. They, like I said, the dev diary things, whenever they're releasing some type of new content, it's usually some type of trailer where they're talking about the character. Like, they're doing stuff that they should have done out the gate to keep these games alive and prevalent, and I do not need to see or want to see this game follow that same type of path. Like, no, stay on top of it, update your game, make sure to keep the community involved, keep them in the loop. Even if they don't like some of the changes, tell them your reasoning, and they're just gonna have to deal with that. Like, they're just gonna have to deal with that. Tell them your reasoning, explain it in a way that even a 5th grader can understand it, and then if it works, cool. If it doesn't, take it back, go over it again, like actually pay attention to what's going on and the reception of your game. Now, by adding more abilities in the future, you feel what I'm saying? Like, if they change them, whether like they start doing reworks, more game modes, like extending the time on TTK, or getting your, or not extending the time on TTK, but extending the time of your abilities, that way you don't get them as quickly, figuring out something as far as matchmaking goes, that way not everybody's getting washed. I don't know. I would just implore you to try this game out for yourself and formulate your own opinion on it. See if you like it, because again, it doesn't hurt. It's free. It's free to play. Play it for a little bit, see what you like, see what you don't like, and if you like it, support it, because again, with competition breeds innovation. So the more games that we get that are trying to step outside the box or expand their universe, the better. But that's all I got for this video, folks. I love y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Drink your water, brush your tongues, and above all else, be nice to yourself. It's Woozilla, and I am gone. Bye.